Hello and welcome to Living Well Today. I'm Angela Moonen and I am attempting to go live. There we go. On Instagram. There's always this little delay but I've had some wonderful following on Instagram during my life. So I want to honor that and continue to cultivate that. It's like showing up. It's like what this says today. Give your best anyway. Give the world everything you've got. And I welcome you to this really special episode that's dovetailing with last week, which was all to do with come as you are. Come as you are. So there's no background filter today. I'm in my little alcove office here at the house and here at Mariposa. And I'm contemplating this, giving the world the best you've got, giving the world everything you have, giving it anyway. The idea is that, just show up, do the work, do the very best you have, give the very best you have. And, come as you are is not this permission slip to stay stuck. It's simply an invitation to show up fully as you are right now and give the world the best of who you are, despite whatever might be going on in your own life. And, your best one day might be different than your best a different day. That's more than likely, in fact. So I know I'm going through a lot, it's like so many people going through so much transition right now in my life, and really keep feeling like, that feeling of 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. That's what I just texted someone this morning. I was short in my response to them, and I reflected on it, and I messaged right back, and I said, you're doing a great job. I'm sorry about that. I saw the mess that was left, and I have a showing today because I'm selling my home, and the mess triggered me because I just feel like I get the place all prepped and ready to go, and then I get knocked back a peg and I have to clean up after somebody else that's come in and done work on the house. But it's not an excuse to not be kind. And so I apologized right away and said, sorry for that. You didn't deserve that. Just please clean up after yourself the next time through is all. So this episode is give the world the best you've got. And not because the world will always notice, not because there will always be applause, because there rarely will be. And not because of that validation, which so many of us seek, and me having grown up on stage as a kid, that outside reinforcement was tuned into me, was programmed into me really early. And then I, have taken the latter part of these last 30 or 40 years to transmute through that and to learn to give myself that assurance from the inside out, as opposed to needing and wanting it from others. We're all human, and we want to know that the work that we're doing in the world matters and that our voice matters. What has to be enough for each of us is that doing the work for the sake of the work, doing the work for the sake of the work. And then maybe it's out of your control. Maybe, just maybe, it will resonate with some people and be recognized and valued outside of you. But it really, and I continue to learn this more and more deeply, whatever work you're doing in the world, or whatever you say or do, whatever it is that you're creating, has to be for the sake of creating. And then maybe, who knows, maybe not. It will be enjoyed by others and valued by others. But do the work anyway. Be creative anyway. And we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about the essence of the prayer of St. Francis on this Easter week and Passover week. And, many of us are in sacred reflection right now. I just did a word of the week, glisten, the radiance, the small reflection and radiance that you capture or that you see in a moment, that you experience in a moment. Giving the world the best you've got is for you, so that you're living well from the inside out. And as you live well from the inside out, the notion, the idea, the promise, in a sense, from the universe, one of the universal laws, cause and effect, that the ripples that you create will return to you in other ways, in other positive ways. Let me tell you the truth. And I always do my best to tell the truth. This is a real truth. This is a universal truth. Sometimes giving your best, it feels like it doesn't matter. Can you relate? I try and I try and I try. And I thought I was giving my best, gave it my all, and I failed. Or I missed the mark, or it was directed in the wrong place, whatever it is. But it's all right. There is no wrong place. Maybe you're pouring your heart into something and no one says thank you. Maybe you're showing up with integrity meaning being in your truth and doing it for the best of intentions to help yourself and to help others, and no one says thank you. Maybe you're showing up and it's going unseen. Maybe you try to love well and that love is not returned. Maybe you're working your tail off to impress or to give or to grant or to create, and it goes completely not only unappreciated but unnoticed. And it makes you wonder, why bother? Why bother? And I said this phrase, why bother, several times yesterday. I took a real punch in the gut yesterday on something, and I always remind my peeps that, let's not pass on our suffering and pain. Let's pass on our wisdom and joy. And yesterday I vented and I passed on a whole lot of pain and suffering and victimhood for myself. Always kind of at the end saying, I know I'll snap out of it. I'll come back. I'll recenter. I'll refocus. But right now I'm really ticked off. And Wayne Dyer, someone who I would recommend you look up, and some of this is pulled from, inspired by him and pulled from some of his work around the give anyway, give the best that you've got anyway. He cuts right through this feeling of the why bother. I'm going to read it for you. He says, give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. Give your best anyway. It's not about martyrdom. I'm not a martyr, and I'm not asking anyone out there to be. We've all been around people who, are so self-sacrificing, and it gets a little nauseating, right? It's about alignment. It's about your own truth. It's about your own alignment with your higher soul. Your soul knows. I wrote that in the caption on my website in prep for today's show. Your soul knows. God knows. The universe knows. It's energetic. It cannot not know. So doing what's right, not for attention, not for validation and confirmation, but because it's truly who you are. And you have to do it or you would die. Like, I have to create. I have to, even if it's little, even if it's picking a piece of jasmine off the bush and setting it on a tray and lighting a little candle next to it. I have to do that for me. That's me. That's who I am. So that's what makes come as you are really come to life. And isn't that what come as you are really means? Is that who are you? Who are you? What matters to you? Are you expressing what matters to you? Because who cares if anyone's watching? Who cares if anyone is appreciating? Your soul, the universe is appreciating, and you feel better as a result for having given your best. Your broken pieces too. That's why I share some of the things I share on here. I don't stand on a pulpit. I know it's me talking to the screen, talking to you. And thank you, by the way, for being here, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or even LinkedIn. I do this on LinkedIn, or watching this on repeat. Thank you for investing the time in yourself and for this space for us to be able to share, create together. Even though I may never meet you in person, if we are in one another's circumference, quantum physics says we support one another, we help one another, we are together, we are a team. I'm on your team, you're on my team, and thank you for that. So showing up with your tenderness and your truths, showing up with the itsy bitsy ugly parts, showing up with all those broken pieces. If you're struggling with your money, which I am right now, here I've created the harmony method, and I have these great swells of prosperity, big swells of prosperity. And then, so it calls me back to examine and to feel into old beliefs and truths and set points around my money. And you say to yourself, I do, I'm human and it's okay. And I know myself. I've been through this tunnel before and come out on the other side. Sometimes there is a train on the other end and it mows me over and I stand up again anyway and keep going. And sometimes it's sunlight. That's life on planet Earth. And I must remind myself in these days that that is the truth. And I must remind myself of our universal laws that you must learn to work with, because there's no beating them into submission. It's just they are. That's it. This is me. That's what you say. This is me. And despite all of that other stuff, I'm showing up and I'm still going to give it my all. If I had one person in the audience at a performance, I would still stand up there and give the performance as though it was a full hall, because that one person matters. And they showed up for me, so I have to show up for them. And we've all taught. I want to talk a little bit about the pursuit of perfection and realizing that the perfection is already here. You think about the gazillion processes that are happening without you even knowing it inside your body, the perfection that it requires to run this machine. We've all been taught that being your best means you have to be the best. That's a lie. You don't have to be the best. You have to be your best. Your best. And through being your best, more betterment comes. You don't have to be the best to give your best. Your best will look different every day. And some days just showing up is the win. Like, this is a big win here for me today, because it's been a tough couple of days, couple of years. This is a big deal. that I make this commitment to myself and to you every Wednesday, that this show. I think in a couple of years, I think maybe a couple of Wednesdays, 2 or 3 Wednesdays, haven't happened because maybe I was flying in the air and I didn't realize yet, technology-wise, I could pre-record the whole thing and stream it, for the first time on the day that this show is scheduled, Wednesdays at 12 o'clock. Whatever it might be, for whatever reason. I think only a small handful, less than 5 times. And so that commitment is giving the best that I have. And today, I don't have the energy today, frankly, that I typically have. And that's enough. Because none of us are going to be a 10 every day. None of us are going to have our energy bulletproofed. That's not us. The bulletproofing is in the ability to come back to it, to recognize it and to come back to it. I mean, with everything that's going on in the world, with the stock markets and the economies and some people are really prospering. And that's the reality that they're creating. Now, all of this that's going on in the world has nothing to do with my circumstance right now. My circumstance is all me and my situation, all to do with me and my own choices. So, and all this movement. And while I stated this in a virtual tour I did of my home the other night on Facebook, I stated that I am nomadic by nature. I never was. After my divorce, you suddenly are uprooted from everything you've known for 15 years. I mean, we were in the same home together, our first home that we bought for, I think, 11 or so years, our very first home. And then we built a home together, and it's wonderful. He's still in that home. So my daughter gets the home that she kind of grew up in, she gets to stay there when she goes to visit, which is really wonderful consistency for her. Because for me, I'm like a leaf in the wind. And I have been ever since. And I wonder about that sometimes. Part of it is my creativity. It's just in my DNA. I like new and fresh and to be able to create on a new canvas. It's like a painter. For me, a home is like, you're going back to the same canvas over and over. And there's only so long that you see what to plus on that canvas. And then you have to leave it as it is. And some could say, okay, well, leave it as it is and then admire the beauty. Yes. But my home is a canvas for me. I love painting it. And so when the painting for me is done, doesn't mean that someone else doesn't have a different version of it and can't plus it. There are many pluses in this home that I'm absolutely certain that can still be done. I was sharing that with my realtor. I'm like, oh my goodness, if I were to stay here, I would do this. But that's not my work. My work is done here. So, but the flip side of that nomadic living is that, and it's a gift, is to root yourself into the earth, to be able to feel grounded, even when you don't have a home as a landing spot. Like, you become your home. You become your home. And the world becomes your home. I went yesterday to one of my favorite places, Seventh Wonder, which is a really wonderful homeopathic spa that my dear sister, I call her sister, my dear sister and love and bestest of human beings, Folly. She was on one of the early shows of Living Well Today when I was still interviewing people. And if you haven't had the opportunity to see that show, I would recommend that you go watch it and see her aura and her energy and beauty that she brings to every conversation and every circumstance. And I walk into her, I was having a tough day, walk into her spa because I know I will always feel welcome and more beautiful and more peaceful in her energy and the energy of her place. And yesterday I went for this really beautiful Ayurvedic massage with all these oils, and it was wonderful. And I'm not even going to pretend to know how to pronounce the type of massage that it was. I am going to learn it. I'll learn it and I'll talk about it at some other point. And Mari, who is from Italy, who just moved here to Jacksonville from California, she is the one who administered the massage and the oils. And she's wonderful, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And she's going to continue to support me and work with me in my doshas, which is Ayurvedic. It's your constitution, essentially. And I have a 2 strong doshas combination. We all have we all have a little of all of them, but you usually have a predominant one, sometimes 2. And I have 2, and it just makes things a little more interesting. So I want to say my point of all of this with Folly is that she said to me yesterday when I walked in, she said, please, Mari, make sure take very extra good care of Angela because this is her home. And that's, I'm going to not well up out of joy. That is the universe reminding and reflecting back to me and affirming me. I know Folly said it, but everyone in our lives are a channel for the universe and a mirror for us, for our own consciousness, subconsciousness, all of it. And it affirmed for me that it's all going to be okay. I am going to land, and wherever I land will be right. So, giving your best, anyway, isn't about being a hero, although we are all heroes of our own lives. And speaking of which, my very dear friend and mentor, Vicky, who I also had on the show, her new book is out today, available on Amazon. I pre-read the book. I had a copy. She asked me to read the book and offer a review for the book, and I'm going to do that. It's the only book ever in my life. Maybe Bridges of Madison County I did a couple of times on my way to Maine. I remember reading that book when Ken and I were on the way to Maine driving. And maybe that book. But this is the only book in my life where I literally am crying, sobbing, based on what I'm reading. And then because of Vicky's humor and lightness of being, read the next line and break into total laughter through the tears. Like I'm sobbing, total laughter. Or I'm laughing and then, oh my goodness, and right into tears. It's called Be the Hero of Your Own Life. You are the hero of your own life. And it's Vicky King, and it releases today. So, giving your best is about being all of you. If you like photography, show yourself and the world and your soul the most beautiful pictures. If you're a painter, if you're a singer, any kind of musician, if you're an accountant, if you're a woodworker, if you're a candle maker, if you're a shoe cobbler, doesn't much matter. If you own a sign company, little nod to my friends Jim and Linda, doesn't matter. Be all of you. Bring all of you to work. You don't cordon yourself off and that's work and this is home. That's not an integrated person. When you cut yourself off into columns, well, that's work and this is home. You are not integrated. You can't bring all of yourself that you create while you're at work to bear in your personal. You can't bring all of the beauty and the love and the kindness and the joy in your personal into your work, which we absolutely need to. disconnection of the two for far too long is what's created this levels of anxiety and stress and discontent and the great resignation during the pandemic. The pandemic was simply, it was a symptom and a trigger. It was a platform for people to make new choices. And some said, you know what? I'm done. I'm done working my tail to the bone and not being valued. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do this. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to stay home with my children. I'm going to find a remote position so I can travel and experience the world while I'm working and bring the very best of myself, regenerated, rejuvenated, enthusiastic, engaged into my work. So I know there are all these studies about, people, they're slacking, they're this and that. There's not as much work going on in productivity if you're not in an office. Well, that's because people are making a choice not to give their best anyway. But see, you absolutely need to, even if you have that, and especially if you have that luxury and that trust that that employer has offered you to do the work. It's not about the amount of time you put in. Okay. It's about the quality of the work. It's about giving your best that you have. And sometimes for others, maybe your best isn't good enough. Well, maybe then that's not the company for you to be with. That's not the role for you to be in. Because if you are giving your best and they're telling you your best isn't good enough, then you're simply not in the right role if you truly are giving your best. Your whole self includes your strength and your struggle. I wrote that down here as a note. Your strength and your struggle. We give the world the best that we've got. Not because we're perfect, not because we have all of the answers, but because we know that the best of us is always with us. It's not just when a spotlight turns on. It's found in those small, sacred, ordinary moments, which become extraordinary because you noticed them and you devoted your best to them. And you're true. You're being true to yourself. Here is the prayer of St. Francis. We're starting to get on our half-hour mark here. I've been revisiting this prayer all week. And that's actually, I stumbled on Wayne Dyer's video about giving the best anyway. And he actually, I think he was ultimately quoting, if I remember correctly, Mother Teresa, who says, the world won't always appreciate your kindness. Be kind anyway. That idea. The world will not always return the favor. Offer favors anyway. The prayer of St. Francis isn't flashy. It's not poetic. It's not Rumi. It's not Maya Angelou. But it is truth. And it's profoundly human. So let me say this for you and with you. So if you would close your eyes with me. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. So this isn't a call to fix everything, to change the world. We change the world by changing ourselves. That's how we change the world. You want a kinder world? Be kind. You want a softer world? You want a more giving world? Be softer, be giving. It's people that are railing and hollering at the moon. Okay, we've heard your voice. Now go do the work. Soften yourself. Quiet yourself. Shine with joy and love and forgiveness and kindness and givingness. Do all of those things. Be all of those things. And the way you experience the world will be better, will be kinder. So giving your best, prayer of St. Francis, all of it, it's a call. It's a call for you to not necessarily work harder, not push yourself to burnout. Oh, if I just add 6 more hours to my day. No. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about being fully present and devoted and focused in alignment with the intention of, I am giving my best today. And no matter what I experience outside of me, I'm giving my best. And this morning when I snapped at the gentleman that's working on the engineering project here, that was not my best. It's not my best moment, and it was not my best me. And that's going to happen. You're not going to live in this constant state of 100%ness. We are all that, but as human, we fluctuate in and out of that. It's the ability to quickly recognize, adapt, and recenter, and make good on where we fell short. Yeah. What am I here to bring into this moment? Ask yourself that right now. What am I here for to bring into this moment? My voice, my gentility, my calmness, my energy, my love. What am I here to bring into this moment right now for? Peace, love, maybe compassion, a steadiness, offering certainty to others when there is no certainty in the world. The world is uncertain. That's the nature of things. Does it feel more uncertain right now? Maybe for some, but only the more you relied on outside validation for you to feel certainty within yourself, the more uncertain you feel right now. So I don't feel that uncertain about the world. I know that seems counter because there's just so much. But I am certain in what I can control, and I can control my reactions to what's going on in the world, and I can control how I feel. I can control that. I can listen better. I can offer myself a quiet moment of grace. I can offer you grace. I can hold this space here for safety and listening and sharing. I always look forward to your comments. And sometimes they're positive. Sometimes I get why were you talking about this? Or why don't you do this? Or who do you think you are? I mean, there's, we get all that. I get it. We get it. And I am going to keep doing this anyway. Here's where the come as you are message deepens. And that is, come as you are is not a gentle permission slip it's not a permission slip to not change. Because the nature of life and the world is change. So if you're not changing, if you're not growing, you're dying. That's the polarity. We're never just, it might feel like we're treading water, but nothing is ever standing still. If everything within your body right now stood still, you'd drop dead like that. Your heart, your blood, your oxygen, all of it. You'd be dead. So it's not about standing still. It's about finding stillness within you, that stillness, that reservoir of stillness to tap into, to feel your strength and the wellspring that is you. But it isn't about staying in a place. It is a sacred, come as you are is a sacred responsibility as a human being. It's not pressure, it's purpose. It's to show up with the best that you have and to give the best that you have. And then if you're showing up in love and integrity and and softening your heart. You can even say, well, how do you soften your heart? Go into nature. Your heart is always softer in nature. You can put your hand over your heart and just say, soften my heart for me. Soften it in the places that it is hardened, in the places that it is closed off, in the places that it is skeptical, in the places that it is unkind, closed. Please open my heart, soften it, let it open, let it emanate. So be it. And you heal yourself, you see. It's not a panacea. Oh, I've healed every old wound and every old aspect of me. It's not it. Healing happens in layers. It happens in layers. And by doing that, you're stretching yourself, you're allowing yourself to grow. This is a line that I read, and it's really my lesson for today. And my daughter said this once to me also that really shook me to my core. The world doesn't need your performance. It needs your presence. And, yes, I understand, there's an aspect of doing this show. There's an aspect of when I sing that it's entertainment in a sense also. So there's that aspect of performance, but I really feel like as I drop that notion, I have to perform, I have to put on, I have to be something more than I am. As I break and chip away at that and say, it's not about my performance, it's about my presence. It's not about your performance. I hate performance reviews at work. I've really grown to hate that phrase, performance review. It's not about your performance, it's about your presence. Because when you have presence, you are giving the best that you are and the best that you have. And a friend of mine, Linda, earlier this week, and I was chatting with her from the balcony, and I had sat down, I had like carrots and tomatoes, I was munching on some celery, and I was drinking my water with lemon, and it wasn't lime, maybe it was lime. Maybe it was a lime. She's like, look at you with your perfect glass of water and lime and your little veggie plate, your candle. I said, well, this is part of its ritual for me. I like to create ritual around. You don't have to. But for me, that's the beauty aspect of what I believe I am here to share and to perpetuate. And beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I'm not the most beautiful person on the planet. I don't have the most beautiful voice. It's not it. But I give my best anyway. And I'm not the best, but I am giving my best. And my best evolves. I know I want a plus, like this whole platform. I want it to be plussed up, and and at the same time, it's like, come as you are. So if you're just tired, why bother? If you're feeling beaten down, give your best anyway. Care anyway. If you feel invisible, keep showing up. If you're unsure, but your heart's still in it, you're doing better than you think. You're doing better than you think. And I just felt that through my whole body, is that despite everything that's going on, because I'm showing up, because I give a damn about how I feel, I give a damn about beauty in the littlest of things, in that piece of jasmine, in the pretty glass, in the words that I use. I care about perpetuating and being beauty. And even if others don't see it, or I often, have felt that lack of appreciation from certain people in my life, whatever it is, I'm going to keep doing it and being it anyway. And that's the call for you too. And that to me is, it's come as you are, and it's living well today. Don't wait for perfection, whatever notion you think perfection is, because you already have it. You don't need to wait for the world to catch on to you or to whatever it is that you love doing. If it's your pottery or your photography or decorating, you love working out in the garden or mowing the lawn, however you do it. Maybe you mow the lawn and, nobody really appreciates that you're out there, but that lawn is mowed. So when the kids are playing badminton on it, or the dog's going out and running around in the yard, nobody cares that the yard is trimmed and beautiful and all that. And they're not saying thank you. But you know, and your soul knows. And you do it anyway. Let's live from that place. Let's live from that place. I'm giving my best anyway. I'm giving the world what I have. And I'm learning to trust that what I have, and what I am, and what I give is enough. So if this touched you, if aspects of this resonated with you, I invite you to share it with someone that you think could benefit from it. I invite you to like and follow and subscribe on all of my channels so that you can get more of this content. You can visit my website at angelamoonin.com. And I really am earnestly and honestly working to shift more and more of my work into this kind of space. And I await patiently on the universe to show me the path of where that prosperity, financial prosperity, is going to come in. Some people would say it's already here, and it's just a wellspring to tap into too. I just haven't quite figured that part out yet, to go back to it, or to go to the new level of it, I should say. And anyway, always be gentle with yourself. Be kind to yourself first, then others. You'll have more kindness to give. Give the world the best of you, even if it's not your best day. So until next time, all my love and all my best to you. Go check out the word of the week this week. I haven't posted it yet, but I think you'll really love it. And it's out in nature. So it's beautiful, lots of green. All the best, friends, for living well today. Much love to you. And I'll see you next week.